Hello and welcome to a new series in our YouTube video channel here at One-to-One IT Coaching Australia. And this one is related to our courses related to network security. This is designed for people who want to get jobs in the IT sector as an IT administrator, someone as an IT technician, or a systems administrator as well. This is the perfect course for you, and this is one of the sections that we're going to cover in our course. But I thought I'd put this into a YouTube video because it's going to be a little bit of a practical demonstration at the end of this, which will probably help people who are out there looking to get a job as an IT administrator in an organization. You're going to see how to configure a wireless network with a wireless access point, and I'll show you a demonstration of that after we finish this presentation. So I thought I'd start by going into an introduction of wireless networking. So what is it? So it all follows something called Wi-Fi standards, and it comes from what's known as a family. And it's like a standard of particular connections. So it's known as the IEEE 802.11 family, and it has various capabilities, including 802.11n, which is up to what's known as 600 megahertz per second, which is the measurement that is used to calculate wireless transmission. There's 802.11c up to 3.5, 802.11ax, which is up to Wi-Fi 6 and up to 9.6 gigabytes per second. And each generation of this family enhances the speed and the capacity of the efficiency in a dense environment within an organization. So some of the things that influence wireless networks are the range factors. And that's something like environmental obstacles like walls. Frequency bands can be a problem, and transmission power. Generally, and what's standard in any organization or in a home, the 2.4 gigahertz, I should say, offers greater band range or greater range or a signal range, whilst 5 gigahertz deliver higher speeds but cover shorter distances. So that's the differences between the two. The frequency bands, as I said, generate between there are 2.4 and 5.5 gigahertz. 2.4 covers a broad area but is susceptible to interference, so that's one of the disadvantages of it. 5 gigahertz offers higher speed and less congestion, which is an advantage, making it ideal for higher bandwidth activities, such as viewing videos online, as an example through YouTube, or high-speed videos. Some of the things that are involved configuring wireless networks are encryption methods, and that's implementing strong encryption to secure wireless networks. The common methods include what's known as WPA2 and WPA3, which encrypt the data transmitted over a network and protects users against unauthorized access, and that ensures privacy. And then there's the channel selection. Choosing the right channel is vital to minimize interference with the other networks. So wireless routers operate on specific channels between 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and selecting the less crowded channels improves the performance. And the best practices for wireless networking: firmware and software updates are very crucial for maintaining the security and efficiency of the wireless networks. These updates often contain security patches and performance improvements that protect systems against vulnerabilities and also threats. Secure passwords is something that's also important for Wi-Fi networks in preventing unauthorized access. The passwords must be at least 12 characters. They need to be long. They need to be combined with letters, symbols, and numbers, and alphanumeric characters. And that enhances security against hacking attempts. And then monitoring the performance. Regularly monitoring that performance ensures optimal speed and reliability. The tools such as network analyzers can help identify things like bottlenecks, and we'll talk about bottlenecks in our security course if you decide to enroll in that, in our advanced and intermediate course, thus enabling timely improvements and also adjustments. And now we're going to do a little bit of a demonstration for you. We're going to learn how to configure a wireless router with a WAP. So let's go out of that. And to do this, I might just go down save, go, and we'll go OK, and then we'll share our screen again. My apologies. So go to that one, and I'll go out of that. And there's a piece of software that we can use to learn this process called Cisco Packet Tracer. Cisco Packet Tracer is used by many network administrators to sketch out and map out network infrastructures. And we're going to do this today in a live simulation to configure a WAP and a wireless router together. So you need to download Cisco Packet Tracer, do a search on the Google search, and you should be able to download that. And I'll give you instructions in the description of our video on how to do that with the direct link. So look out for that in the video today. You need to also have a Cisco account to access the Cisco Packet Tracer software. All right, so let's start off by going into Cisco Packet Tracer. You can see my icon here, but it looks like an icon like this when you see it, but you can type it in and it'll come up as a top hit. And when you go in, you should see this particular screen here. Now, it may look a bit funny to you, but it will make sense once we explain all the components. So we're going to create a project in Cisco Packet Tracer, which will sketch out the actual network for a wireless access point and a wireless router. So the first thing that we need to do is to put ourselves a wireless router. Now, we click on Network Devices, and then we go across to Wireless. I think it should be here somewhere. Here we are, Wireless Devices. And then what we'll do is we'll click on the, let's see, I think it's the home router. There it is. So what we do is we drag that in to the top. Okay, so that's a home router -PT-AC. So we'll put that right up the top. And we're also going to put up the top a wireless controller or wireless WAP. So we'll put that in here, just next to the router. Now, the next thing we'll do is we'll add a couple of PCs. So we click on End Devices, put in a couple of PCs in here. So PC1, PC2, and we'll also put in 2 laptops. One goes here and the other goes here. So that's going to be the structure of our network when connecting a WAP. So we're going to get, we're going to connect the PCs to the router. We're going to connect the WAP to the router, and we're going to connect the laptops also to the router as well. All right, so let's start off our connection process. So when we go to connections, we'll see here a list of cables, the diagram cables that we need to use here. The first one is we're going to choose is called a copper straight through cable. Then what we do is we click on the PC and then go fast Ethernet, and then we're connected directly to the router and we choose Gigabit Ethernet 1. And there you can see a connection has been established. Well, not a connection, but sort of a connection on the green arrow, but we'll connect it shortly, but with what's known as an IP address. We'll do the same for PC1. Click on that, go fast Ethernet, and go Ethernet 2. All right. And then what we do is we connect the access point. So we connect the copper straight through, gigabyte Ethernet, and just connect it to here, and then make it gigabyte 3. Okay. So we don't need to connect the laptops because they will be, of course, wireless. Now what we need to do is to configure the wireless router. So what we do is we double click we click on, oops, we'll have to do that again. So go to config and then go into GUI. Now, when we go into the GUI, we will see many different things. What we need to do is to configure first what's known as the IP address. So we'll leave it as 192.168.0.1. The start IP address. So an IP address is basically the home of the router. It's like a home address or of a residential home, if you want to put it in English terms. We have to select the amount of users that we want to access the router, which will be 50 users across the organization, and we need to select the range. So each of the PCs will be numbered from 192.168.0 to 149. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is to go to wireless. Now, what we need to do is to name the actual wireless network. And the wireless network will be known with a specific name. And we will call that my network. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll save it, save all the settings. Okay. And then we go to wireless security. Now, we're only going to have one specific frequency for this. Remember, when we said in our presentation, we have 2.4 and 5. We'll just have 2.4. And we have to put some level of security mode on this to make sure that people don't actually tamper in within the actual wireless router. So we want it as secure as possible, and we want to put a passkey on there. So in this case, we'll put in WAP2 personal, and then we will give it a name. So we'll give it a passphrase or a password, which will be known as fresh password. Okay. And we'll just change this one to fresh network as our name. And then we'll click Save Settings. Okay. So there are a couple of other things that we need to make sure of in the setup. There's something called DHCP server. Now, what that means is that an address for the computer or its location or its home is automatically assigned to each of the computers and also the laptops. So we don't actually have to configure them one by one. The work is done by the wireless router, and they will do that work automatically for us. Okay. So next, what we need to do is to go to the configuration of the wireless access point. So at the moment, you can see when we move our mouse over it, it's currently down. So we double click inside it. Now we can see here that the wireless access point is actually switched off. because it's got nothing connected to it. So what we need to do is to move this nice little power supply adapter in here, and we need to connect it. Okay. We need to make sure that it is on, which is great. And what we do now is we go to the config tab, and we're going to actually configure the actual router, the wireless access point. So the first thing that we need to do is to go to the settings and make sure that the display name is actually the same as the router. So in this case, it will be Fresh Network. Okay, so Fresh Network. And then we need to go to the wireless security, which should be over here, I think. No, I think we've actually done it. So that's okay. Then we've got to assign the IP address. So the IP address of the WAP needs to be the same subnet, what's known as the same thing as the router. So I'll just check that. So let me just check. It is 192.168.0.1. Yep, I think that's correct. So what we'll do is we'll double click inside there, and it'll be 192.168.0.1. Now, we'll close that. Okay. And then you can see here that the connections have actually gone to green, which means that everything seems to be working well between the PCs and the wireless router and the wireless app. Now what we need to do is to actually configure the configuration of the laptops to make sure that it communicates with the router and the actual WAP. So let's double click inside here. Now what we need to do is to click on this particular icon. So there's a bit of a glitch with Cisco Packet Tracer where we have to uninstall what's known as the WAN module. Now, inside a laptop, there is a wireless module or an antenna inside the laptop, which sometimes is outside with a switch, or it's actually built in to the actual laptop. In this case, what we have to do is we have to turn it off. We have to uninstall it. Hopefully, that'll work. Oh, sorry. We have to turn the power off before we do that. So if we shut the power off, as you can see, and then move it over to here. So you can see now that the module is empty. On the left-hand side, we've got different modules here that we can put in. The one that we need to put in is known as WPC300M. So we'll slot that in there, like so, and then we'll turn on the PC. As you can see, it's now actually open. Now, we'll click config and go to desktop. And then what we need to do is we need to configure the laptops to the wireless network. So if we go to PC wireless, and it comes up with the actual model or the component. And what we need to do, and we can see here that the wireless network is being picked up. As you can see, all we need to do is to click on connect. Hopefully the link is there. We can see our Fresh Network, which is the one that we actually connected. So we click on that and then click on connect. Oops, I might just try that again, connect. Don't know why that's not working. So I've connected the access point. All right, so I'm not sure why it's not coming up. So this one, it should actually, interesting. I'm not sure why. We'll check that up in a moment. Now, we'll just close this. If there's, we can see there that the connection is now successfully being made, as you can see with that icon going down there, with Wi-Fi signal going to laptop 0. Now we'll do the same for laptop 1. We'll switch the computer off, and then we'll remove the module. Okay, then we choose the module again, and then we go to desktop. Oops, sorry, the device is not powered on. Okay, so it's powered on. And then desktop, PC wireless, and see if that comes up. Got fresh network, connect. So the adapter is active. So it looks like the adapter is inactive. Oh no, adapter is active. All right, so we close that, and we can see now that there's a connection between from the router to the laptop. Okay, so let's test the actual connections between PC0, PC1, and laptop 0 and laptop 1. All right, so what we do is we go into here, then go to desktop, command prompt, and what we'll do is we'll go ping 192.168.0.1. Actually, that might not be correct. 192.168.0.1. Now, I don't think we put the IP configuration in. Of course, that's what I missed. So what we need to do, we left out a bit of a step here, guys. We have to go into the PCs and then put in IP configuration. So that needs to be DHCP, so it automatically picks an address. So you can see there, it's 192.168.0.103. And then in here, we go to config, DHCP, actually go, yeah, DHCP. I got that right? There it is, 192.168.0.104. All right, let's try that again. So if we go into command prompt, if we go ping 192.168.0.1, and as you can see now, PC1 is now connected directly to the wireless router and to the WAP as well. So we'll try PC1. Disregard that. So ping 192.168.0.1, and as you can see, that has successfully pinged across. Now, some steps we may have missed out for the laptop. No, that looks pretty good. It's assigned an IP address of 192.168.0.101, and in here, let's see that. Yep. I'm not sure if it's got a connection. Okay, it's 1962. Okay, so let's test this out. We go to command prompt, and then go to ping 192.168.0.1, and that's a successful connection. So what we've done is we've connected the laptop to the router, WAP, and let's try this one. We may not have success with this one, but we'll give it a go. Ping 192.168.0.1. Yes, we do. All right. So what we've done here, we've connected PC0 and PC1 to the router, and we've also connected the laptop 0 and laptop 1 to the actual router, and the router is actually configured to the wireless connection, which allows us to connect the actual laptops. So I hope you've enjoyed that video. It was a bit of a nice experience doing a practical activity here today, learning how to create a wireless network with 2 PCs and 2 laptops. So if you're interested in doing the network security course, please enroll at One-to-One IT coachingaustralia.com.au/courses, or look out for our group courses on our EduTrainer portal, and look out for more videos under our networking security playlist, which I'll put on very, very shortly for you, which will contain this video. So remember to hit the like button and also subscribe to this channel. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time with another video. Bye for now.